Two. Okay. All right. This is
Hi.
session 8, and welcome everyone. Alessia is here to talk to us about some free resources. Okay, we're ready.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my presentation in a second. Just give me okay. So, um, start. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, my name is Alessia, and I'm a program manager on the American Center Minsk. And I would like to share with you with some resources you could use maybe for your learning English practices, but also maybe as well for your doctor practices. Um, okay. American Center Means offer opportunity to join eLibrary USA digital collection of information resources from the United States for its alumni and participation of its courses. This collection includes newspapers, magazines, journals, dissertations, films, videos, books, and many, many more. eLibrary USA consists of a, a few parts. You can use Libby primarily for reading books from your iPhone or tablet using app. It's quite useful, quite easy to do. You could also read newspapers and magazines, not only English, but on German, Polish, I don't know, many, many languages there. And there are a wide variety of journals, like from, I don't know, Top Gear to foreign politics, for instance. You can use Academic Search Premier for searching journals on academic fields. It's quite reliable resources for scholars, for someone who are working on articles. This store also famous collection of academic journals, but mostly focusing on history and economics, I would say. Also, pro-question, dissertation, thesis, and global research also could help you with your study and researches. And Bookflix, really funny resources, but it's maybe for younger learners. For people, who have kids, they have an amazing collection of movies, audiobooks, quizzes, and many more fun interactive things. Here a little bit about how the page of Libby looks like when you join it from desktop. You just easily borrow books. It's available for you for a couple of weeks, and then it's back to the library. How our newspaper and magazines pages looks like. So just read a copy, like digital but hard copy of newspaper. It's updated regularly, so yeah, it's possible to be in tune with modern events. Okay, the store, journals, books, and other sources for maybe more social and humanitarian branch, but maybe you also can find something useful for you as a doctors and medicine specialists. ProQuest dissertation thesis global resources. database, and they have a lot of dissertation and thesis on different fields. So I think that it's going to be really useful for you to check this. It's also a very famous database for searching academic journals and articles, and it's supposed to be downloaded and used for your papers. Movies. So we have also collection movies in English. It's updated regularly. They have a nice collection of documentaries, I could say, but also some feature films are also good. Speaking about registration, so it's a little bit complicated, but it was of it. So first you should sign up. I will share the link to Google Form after this presentation, so you should sign up. After this, in a few days, around 5 business days, you will receive a letter with a link to online training. And after you complete this training, our specialist will add you to the list of users of your library and send you access to your email. Online training is quite easy. It's mostly about navigation through resources and with really easy and short tasks to complete on the end of these videos. Okay, so registration letter as usually looks like that. So just letter from Sysdigov. Sometimes it can go to your spam folder, so it's better to check. And this is how application form looks like after you receive the link. You will see. So I'm sorry, you will see such panel. Here is a QR code. You can scan it and join sign up sheet. That I also will put this link to this Google form on chat because maybe it's not convenient for everyone to scan it right now. Here our Facebook. You follow us, join, don't forget. And that's all I have. But also let me share with you maybe e-library resources and just the resources, maybe thesis online. So I think it's quite easy to navigate and go through these books. And for instance, we will open Courage in the People's House. Set to use. Oh no, sorry, it's not work. But it should. Okay. I think it's because it's not available because someone borrowed it. Okay. But if it's available, so you will just receive a vision of books. Okay. So, what else we have here? Press reader. It was already in Russian, so it's possible to read quite easily. Um, so Surfing Premier. Sorry, my internet not good today. so the navigation. So just hear what you would like to find and then check results. Okay, so that's all that I have. I will put the link on the chat. Okay, Judy.
I have a question. How long is the training, the online training? Is it 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
So it depends on, I think, on person, but it's around 15, 20 minutes. So
Okay.
it's just a short video who maybe provide more details about each resource. And then it's like a test where you like complete really basic knowledge, like for what this resource is, for what this resource, and that's all.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Alessia? Okay. My father reads
I
that.
think we
Oh,
have
go ahead.
no questions. We will use it.
Yes, right. Then maybe you'll have questions.
Yeah, I also think that it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's possible to use for you, but or I think that there is like only one like not rec yeah, they
One
just ask you
user,
to
one
no,
user permitted.
yes, just one user per email. So if you completed this test, so not share like your login and password with someone, but you can provide like a link per person, you know.
Hmm.
If it's a tender of our center, so they can also receive as a unique login and password. And I will put the link on the chat in a
Great.
couple of seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, lots of good stuff there. I was going to say my father gets that magazine, The Week. I thought I might have one here. It comes every week. It's a sort of summary of the news and global information, mostly U.S. news, I think. And then he gives them to me. And so I have like a stack of them because I'm slow at reading. And anyway, I like them because they take a lot of different reporters' perspectives about something that's happened in the world or in the US, and they say this person from the Financial Times thinks this, and this person from the Wall Street Journal thinks this, and it's sort of all different kinds of articles. So it's not just radical left like me articles. So I get to hear a different perspectives. So that's good. That's a good thing. So I saw that as in your one of those magazine listings, I think. Thanks. So I'll vouch for that one. Okay. We have a couple things to do today, and some of it is related to resources. But let me start here with our idiom. I can't remember actually if we did this before. So we have, let's see if we did this one. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you know this one. Oh, I don't want it like that. Sorry, I don't want it to be behind my shoulder. I just want it to be not as the background, just as the content. Okay, let me try that again. There we go. Oh, no, that's not it then, is it? Okay, let me try one more time. Boy, today's kind of a little, let me look here. Okay. So Alessia's put that link in there for you. Content only. This is the one I want. This is an idiom. Okay. Surely you know this one. Black and blue. Black and blue. Any guesses?
I would guess it's about depression.
Oh, I have done a number of those about depression, Tatiana. In this case, no, not depression.
Maybe.
Maybe downsides, not
Say that one more time.
downsides.
The downside of something, like the
Yes.
negative side of something? No, this is an actual medical condition, many times does not require a doctor or a pharmacist or a nurse. Anybody else want to try? What color is your
Maybe it's the color of the skin,
That's
something
right.
with the
That's
skin.
right, Kate. Perfect. I was just going to ask that question. What color is your skin when you bump into something? So
Ah,
you
mhm.
get badly bruised. I think the ecchymosis is the Latin word. Or, sometimes people can get contusions way deep under their skin and a hematoma. My father just had a accident, I think I might have told you about 2 months ago now, and he hit his head. And because he's old and his skin is so thin, his side of his face was all black and blue, and then red, and then pink, and then purple. It was so beautiful, but it was from bruising. He didn't harm. He didn't hurt. He had some stitches in his fingers, so I guess he did have a little medical work done, but mostly he just had to live with that. Somebody asked him who punched him. Looked like somebody had punched him in the face. So black and blue, we use it. We use it when we describe skin color. You're black and blue, you're bruised. So we can use that just as a description. And it actually, if you translate that, it isn't as other idioms we've talked about, you can't translate them, but this one I think it's pretty clear if you just translate it. You're talking about bruising. Okay. Today we have already continued to build our community. I wanted to review the quiz that we took this week. If you did some listening on Padlet. Also, I wanted to chat a little bit about the TED Talk videos. I wanted to ask for some discussion related to that. And I want to talk about our final presentations, which start next week, and also about the rubric that's related to that, the rubric, the assessment. That is a teacher term, which isn't used very often in other formats, but very common in teacher language, teacher lingo. So let's start with the final presentation. I want to also give you about 10 to 15 minutes, if that's workable for you, to meet with your partner. Some people have already completed their presentation and sent it to me for review, and that's fine. I'm happy to do that until next Wednesday. So if you want to send it once you've created it, and I'll give you some feedback, and you can take it or not. So remember, starting next week, we'll be having at each session, we will be having a number of presentations, and those will be limited. I'm going to go to the instructions here, see if I can close this here. For the details of that, I want you to remember that these are randomly. I'm going to put your names in a pile, and I'm going to just randomly pick who goes next week. So unless you have some kind of work situation or some kind of problem and you can't do it next week, let me know. I know that is the case for a couple people. They have asked to postpone till the final week, which is session 10. So remember what you're doing. You're making a short presentation, 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm very strict about that time frame. With your partner, you can do a clinical case where you can take that from your own practice or the internet, or if you need one, I have a list of clinical cases. You can do a role play where the first one is where you take a clinical case and talk about it, present it to your classmates. The second one is a role play where you have two medical professionals or a medical professional and a patient, and you discuss a clinical case. You can be as creative as you want as far as what roles. Sometimes people play a parent talking about their child, or two doctors, a specialist and a regular internist talking about a condition, or a doctor and a patient themselves who might want to talk about their condition and practicing talking about pain and treatment, that sort of thing. So for the role play, you're going to be interviewing, and I say the patient, but again, you'll just be interviewing each other. And most of you have read this. The one thing I want to point out is the audience engagement in your presentation. Remember, you can present your clinical case as a medical mystery, so you can not tell us what it's about, give us all the information, and then once you've finished, ask not the diagnosis and treatment, but before you give a diagnosis, you can ask the audience for their opinion. What could this be? What could be the problem? What's something that that we haven't thought about? So what should our treatment be, or what should our diagnosis be first, and then what should our treatment be? So you're asking the audience to be engaged with you. For those of you who watched a TED Talk, you know that that is one of the key features of the TED Talk, is to ask questions of the audience, or to do a quiz, things like that. You're limited with your time. So it's difficult for you to do anything that takes additional time besides ask some questions and then let the audience give you a few. So 2 minutes is about the length of time you want to give with your audience there, just to engage them, see if people are paying attention. All right. So lastly, I want to talk about the rubric, because I'm not the only one who will be assessing you. We will use this rubric to measure how you do in each category. This is on page 2 of the final presentation instructions, so you're welcome to look at it. You will also be not measuring everyone, but I will send you the names of people you will be measuring, assessing, we say. So you will be using this rubric next week. So it'll be good to be familiar with it. If you're not here, or if you are not able to listen and fill out the rubric, which is my case, I need to listen fully, and then later I have to go back and fill out the rubric, either from my notes, because I like to take lots of notes, or I re-listen to the recording. And you will remind me if I forget to turn on the recording, so I do not forget to do that next week and the following week. So that way you can just go to the speakers that you're going to assess and listen as part of your home practice. Listen to them and fill out your rubric, and you will submit that to me. All right, let me see if there are any questions first. One thing we did talk about was after you present, you will have some time for questions. So because we have a little smaller class than usual, you will have time to, not part of your 10 minutes, you will have some additional time to let the audience ask you some questions, particularly if you have an unusual case, clinical case, people will have questions, or people might question the diagnosis, right? Or they might want to know how you made the diagnosis. They might want more information than you gave them. Okay, anything else? Okay. All right, so I'm guessing that you would like to spend some time today.
I have one question, Judy.
Yes.
So you said that we will measure ourselves, or you will do it with someone from our group?
I will measure everybody, and you will measure other classmates. And thank you for reminding me, you will do a self-assessment. A self-assessment. How did you do in your mind? This is really hard for some people, but in the US, in our education system, we require that students learn from an early age how to evaluate themselves, because most of the time we are the best judge. So this is a really good way for you to see how you feel you did. So yes, self-assessment, peer assessment, and then I will assess you as well. So you should have at least 3 rubrics to look at least 3, because a number of your classmates will assess you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. One more thing before I forget, this additional comments section. Here is where you're able to really give people some valuable feedback. These are general questions above, clear and understandable presentation, or let's go down here to grammar. Uses appropriate grammar 50 to 89% of the time. That's sort of in the middle ground, right? But down here, you're able to say, mispronounced a number of words, but was still understandable, or I really enjoyed your presentation. And in the rubric, you are asked in the additional comments to give a positive feedback and a negative feedback. Sometimes you don't have anything negative, and that's okay, but always to balance that, I ask that you do a positive feedback. Oh, I really liked your presentation because it was clear, it was interesting, things like that. Or maybe you want to tell somebody, I think it would be helpful for you to work on your pronunciation of this particular word, or this particular syllable, or whatever. Something that you know because you have mastered that. Okay?
Gigi, I'm sorry, one question again. If we will choose a role play, is it necessary a presentation?
You just need to have like
Yes.
an introduction, like an introductory slide that would sort of give us some who you are, number one, right?
Okay.
And then what your case study or what your clinical case is named, maybe, unless it's a mystery. And maybe you would include in that slide presentation your question to the audience. So they're going to be listening to you the whole time. And then if you engage the audience with a question, you might include that. And lastly, so really I'm up to 4 now, 4 slides. The 4th one would be your references, right? So those 4 things.
Okay, thank you.
That's all. Yeah. Good question. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Let's take our time right now. It's 10:30. Do about 10 minutes with your partner. For those of you who've finished your presentations, you can practice. I'm going to try to come to each one. Practice the pronunciation. If you send it to me, I can look at it and we can talk about it. So we'll put you with your partner, and you can spend time working on your presentation or discussing it, or even setting it up and showing each other, because you have screen sharing available to you. Okay, so let me just put you into breakout rooms, and it'll take me just a minute to match everybody up here. Shouldn't be too long though. Let me make an extra one here just in case. Okay. So if you're not here, let's see. Okay. If your partner's not here, then you have a few minutes to just work on whatever you choose, I guess, and I'll come around and see you too. Let's see here. Yep. Okay. And Alessia, I should let you just be in charge of I'll make you the alternative host. How about that? All right, I think I have it here. Again, if your partner's not here, you can work on what you need to. We're going to take about 10 minutes. So it's 10:35. Hopefully we'll be back together at 10:45. Okay? Open the rooms. Let's see, Gleb, you need to go to your room with Julia. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Lesia, I am looking for my tools to get this out of the way, to make you the alternative host. Do I just do it from your name? Let's see. Yeah. Let me try that.
I'm going to jump up to another meeting in 10 minutes. Is it okay?
Okay. Yeah, certainly. Thanks for coming
I'm
today.
sorry, today just a crazy.
It
very
sounds
crazy
crazy.
day.
You had that meeting already this afternoon, right? For the panel
Yeah,
discussion. Yeah.
a crazy
Yes, no
day.
problem. I understand. We're just going to bump through this. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
but
see
if
you.
you do you need any? Oh, hi, Eldar. Nice
There's
to see you.
Eldar. Okay, I'll
We're
put you.
on breakout rooms.
Eldar, I'm going to put you with Yulia. We're
Yeah,
working on final
please.
presentation. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll try to get there so I can, let's see, she's in room 4, so I can talk to you about your, oh, and there's Ula. I'm going to put her with Darina. Hello, Ula. Let's see, maybe sign. There we go. You should go with Darina. Beautiful. Okay. Ula, can you accept that to go to the room with Darina to talk about your final presentation? Yep. Okay.
Okay, great.
I'm going to start here and join this one first. See
I'm
you later.
really, yeah, it's recording. Yes,
Yes,
is
it
it
is.
still recording? Okay, so,
Oh, okay. I'll see you soon.
okay,
Bye.
soon, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
And this is second slide about initial presentation of our patients, yeah. And after this slide, we can ask our classmates about her initial things, yeah, about this woman. And after that, add some our vital signs and ECG, yeah.
Okay, and we will maybe ask what is the possible
Yeah.
diagnosis?
Yeah. What your thoughts about this? And after that, after their answers, we can choose some initial differential diagnosis.
Okay.
Yeah. But after this
right diagnosis
slide,
is not
yeah. Yeah, but that there are no chronic disease, no prior surgeries, yeah. But this woman say that she sorry, I'm a little bit sick, cold.
Oh.
I caught cold, sorry. And she has vaginal bleeding, yeah. But she saw that he has just her periods, yeah. And we need to mention that she has intrauterine device, yeah. And after that, we also maybe can ask our classmates about her ideas, yeah.
Yes. what they can
Mhm.
suspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And after that, we said that
The one who hello, Judy.
Hello.
We are discussing our next move.
Oh, good. Okay. Is it a checkmate or
Nobody is winning.
nobody's
Still,
winning yet? Oh, good. Okay, I like that kind of game. So do you need anything from me yet?
I don't think so. Everything
think
is
not.
fine.
Okay.
We're
All right.
we're
Yes.
in the mid. We're in the middle of nowhere.
You're in the middle of nowhere. Do
Mhm.
you need some clinical cases just to sort of get your brains moving, or is that not an
No,
issue?
we already
You
have
have one.
one good
Okay.
case,
Okay.
but we're thinking about
Mhm.
switching it to another one
Okay.
because maybe it's too, how to tell it,
Complicated?
complicated. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go because you don't need me.
See
I
you.
like that.
Where is my internet?
Okay.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yep. So who will be in the charge of?
К первому слайду пару вводных слов. Да, потом я тебя представлю. Скажу, что мы должны сейчас рассмотрим одну клиническую проблему и рассказывает моя коллега, да?
Is that English, Gleb? Am I hearing English and it's just got a little accent to it?
Yo. Okay. In English. Okay, in English.
We just decided to discuss shortly in Russian for better understanding. And now
better understanding we have
English,
discussing
Okay.
with my colleague Julia.
Do
Yes.
either of you have questions for me or concerns? Anything that I can do?
We need to send you our presentation to have your review.
You don't need to. You can if you want to. I'm happy to give you feedback, but you don't.
I
You
think
don't.
it's better
Okay, Julie. Okay.
to make a surprise.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, you could do that. It could be a surprise. You can also, but not till next Wednesday. You don't have to do it until next Wednesday. So,
We
okay.
we did our presentation.
Wow, great.
Yes.
Beautiful.
No.
Okay.
We
Slides.
did.
Slides.
You did your slides. Okay. So then here's the thing. I want you to make sure that you practice it, right? Because that's the trick
Yeah.
for anybody who's struggling with
and now
pronunciation or
I
right.
was discussing it as we made our slides.
Yeah.
We chosen the topic,
Great.
and we divided in half our work.
Beautiful.
I discussed. I made the slides about case. I've added some additional information and about prevention of this case, severe case, and made some information in diagnosis.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes. I decided to tell about very sad case that was happened during my shift 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dear. Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago about
Not typical
with
case, clinical.
not
Yeah.
typical, very not rare, but
Not rare, but
unusual.
not typical. Yeah.
Rare, but
and
not rare, but not typical. So somewhere in the middle. Unusual. Is that
Can
a
I
good
tell?
word?
Can I tell? I want more simplicity. I want more simplicity presentation, but Julia wants more difficulty, more sciencely, and it's.
So that's the great part about the negotiating with another partner, right?
Yeah,
You'll find somewhere in the middle.
But it's so emotional for me, and
Ah.
I need more
Yes,
Russia,
and
not English.
my case was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting to Gleb, as he is an anesthesiologist, and my case is very closely connected with
La 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 la. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
It sounds really interesting. Okay, okay. So
really
you guys negotiate. I'll move on, and if you need anything, you know where I am, right? You can send me things. You can text me, whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank
No, thank you.
All right.
It was were 3 subjects.
So if you want to be, if you want to take part in this course, you need to pass exams, and it will be for free. For
Yes,
you.
but if the department which you want to be a student really have a free place for you, so you must sure that this department want to have you like a student for them.
And it's for 3 years, this course, yeah?
Yeah,
during
3
3
years.
years, yeah?
But for me, it was 5 years because after this, how to say, when I have a postgraduate course during all day, and the other form when you are a student, but you mustn't spend all day in this department. It's like заочное. It's like so you can work and to be a student. It's like a two process.
Well,
It's
that's
two
what
form
Irina,
of
you do now, because she's a nurse, right? You nurse and you also go to school, right?
No, Judy, thank you. Because I don't know this word for when I graduated from university, Belarusian Medical State University, we have a residence. And if you want to be a good quality doctor in one specialty, in one department,
Specialty?
you can a specialty. You can be a student of this postgraduate.
Is it like a
How to
fellowship?
say?
Would you call it a
Like
fellowship?
a fellowship, yeah. And you have a two form. You spend your really all day in this department without any work in other clinic, for example,
Got it.
or you can work and like a parallel process. You
Okay.
can be a student. So 3 years or 5 years. 3 years you spend all day, every day, and without any job, any other job, and the other one you can be any doctor and to do this between your main working day.
Okay.
So I don't know this word in English because
The
in
only thing
our
I can think of
language,
is, it's not really,
not
Maybe I
main.
even
Google.
I even don't know how to name it in Russian. I don't know. Maybe there is no special word for it. We understand, but
Yeah,
in
очное и
Russian,
заочное, yeah?
yeah.
okay,
Maybe.
well, maybe translate that word and see
But
if we come close.
when you work like a doctor in which clinic and you are in this postgraduate course, it's maybe not like заочное because you spend
The full-time education and part-time education. Sorry,
yeah, maybe
AI helps me because I really don't know this
Yeah. What that's
words.
called, and I don't know how. I mean, it sounds like it's not that common, correct? Is it that common where people?
On-campus education or distance learning. It's the same synonym.
Okay.
No?
Well, no, distance learning is you're at home learning something. You're not
okay.
in place, in situ. So
it will be correct to say I was a full-time student of postgraduate course of
I
cardiology.
think that is what a fellow does. I think it's considered a fellowship.
Fellowship, yeah?
Yeah. After
Fellowship.
you finish your education, your typical education, then you can be a fellow. I know a woman who's a neurosurgeon, and she is taking her 7th year of residency as a fellow at another hospital. in another city, and she's spending all that time just learning more neurosurgery from one particular expert.
Place. Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's called a fellowship in the US. It might not be that in in
And what about observership? If it's what does it mean? So you have just uh, some lectures without practical work? Observership.
Observership. I don't know that word. I'm not familiar with that. Normally in your medical classes, you'd have the theoretical part, right? And you will have finished all that before you do a fellowship. But would you have both in this case? Did you have both things? Did you have sort of
Yes.
theoretical and
So
book
I started
learning as
like
well?
a full-time
Wow.
student and fellow
Wow.
student.
Okay.
And
That
after, because I want to start my practical work.
okay.
So
I
yeah.
will ask Chloe because she probably knows better than I do, and I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, it's
Is
very
that
interesting
yeah?
how it's going on in other countries.
And very interesting that on-the-job training, right? That you are on the
Yes,
job and you're
on the
learning, and
job.
that is, of course, the best way to learn.
Not only theory.
Yes, absolutely.
Just read and watch without some practical skills,
Yes, right. The practical
tip
skills
and
are,
tricks.
yes. How's your presentation? Let me ask you that, and then I'll go. I'll go.
Presentation. We
Oh, yeah,
just
that.
started from our past. So
Okay.
Darina asked me how I started to work like interventional cardiologist, and
Yes.
we forgot to discuss about my. I prepared a case report about MitraClip valve. So
Oh,
it's a very interesting operation. It's
wow.
company Abbott, USA company,
Yeah.
and we had a very interesting case because we used not general access because of patient has had or has because yeah
Has
he
had. You could say has
uh,
had.
yeah,
Yeah.
some anatomy, how to
Oh,
say, specific anatomy, yeah,
okay.
atresia of vena cava inferior. So we couldn't use the femoral access
Wow.
for our system. And it's only one way to use this interventional operation. It's just only femoral vein, but we couldn't do it because we don't have this anatomy.
Wow.
And we try to use the jugular vein, and we prepared during 1 month with a proctor from company Abbott from
Okay.
USA,
Yes.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we checked all cases around the world. It's not so big, how to say,
It's not common. Sounds like.
yeah, not common.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a first case in how to say SNG, so post-Soviet Union countries.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and we spent 7 hours
Oh
in
my heavens.
operation room. We want to go to toilet in our head, just only in our head, because
Yes,
we
right.
couldn't do it. And
Wow.
really, we wanted to stop maybe 3 times. Just, okay, it's not for us, stop. But we continued to do it,
Wow.
and we had a good result. We finished our work, and we implanted one clips
Implemented?
in mitral valve.
Implanted. Okay.
Implanted
Yeah.
in
Uh-huh.
the mitral valve one clips. Implanted. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So, because we know that our patient, he is very young man, just only 56 years old. It's
He has
really
some
just
life ahead of him. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
And he has a very big number of comorbidities, diseases.
Oh,
Yeah, how
yeah.
to say
Comorbidity. Mm-hmm.
morbidity diseases, and he really couldn't have or hadn't how to
He couldn't have, we would say. British
couldn't
English, you
have.
could say haven't.
Yeah, open operation
Wow. Open heart
for
operation.
open heart operation.
So can I
it was
interrupt you? I
all
just want to make sure that it sounds fascinating, and I'm interested in the topic, so I could ask you lots of questions. But one is I want to make sure you are going to engage your audience. So you're going to ask some questions about what the audience thinks, right? Or what they might have questions about. That's part of your 10 minutes. And also you're sharing, even though Dorina, this isn't your case, you're able to share presenting some parts of it, correct? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I'm going to move. I have one more room to see, and I see that we've already gone past our 10 minutes, but
Yes.
you guys
Thank you for
continue to
your
talk about
support.
what you need to talk about, and I'm out of here. How's that? So thank you. Wow. Sounds really interesting. All right. Let me get here. Okay. If I can find that. There.
So Dorina, maybe you want.
Yulia, hi. Sorry it took me so long to get here. Maybe I wanted to just talk generally about your presentation. I've looked through it and I just have a couple small things, and I'm trying to decide whether I could just type them on. I think what I'll do is just type them in email. Like I'll say slide number 3. So it might be like, instead of years old, we say year old, 8-year-old. So but I'll do that. I'll send those to you. That's the kind of thing. And then if there's too many words on the slide, I'm going to ask you to break that down into bullets. Okay. And even though you're still going to talk about all those things, I don't mean to take away any of your talking. I just want for the audience, we're going to read. So we're not going to listen when we have too much information. We're just going to be right to the screen, right? We're not going to be listening. So if you can put your main ideas on your slide, we can read those, but then you can talk all you want to, up to 10 minutes, about that information. So like I noticed you had quite a lot of information about when the patient first came, you have a lot of information down in the notes section, but you just put a little bit in the slide, and that's perfect. So, that would be a way to sort of make it easier for the audience to follow, right? Is to bullet those things and not have a lot of text for us. Okay. Those are my main things, but I would put them down individually and get that to you today. Okay. I'll finish it after class. Okay. And thank you. Thank you for being so efficient. All right, let's see. I'm going to leave here. I think I'm finished now. Leave. Okay.
To make
Well, I could see that people were not ready to come back, so thank you for working on that, and and what other things that you might have been talking about is fine too. I wanted to see if now that you've finished sort of discussing that, you'll have time, I know, to do this with your partner later. Are there any other questions about your final presentations? Any things that you need me to clarify? Okay.
Judy,
Yeah.
can you just not add some slides about literature? As I'd use just up to date and just history, patient's history.
History. You
History
could. I
data.
mean, you're limited. Remember, we recommend that you do presentations 1 slide per
Yeah,
minute,
I
right?
know it. That is why I'm asking. Yeah.
So 1 slide per minute, if you have 10 minutes, 10 slides ends up being plenty of slides, right? Enough for the audience to sort of take in. If you want to add some on the end, which people could look at once you post your presentation, there'll be a place on Moodle for you to post your presentation. Then people could learn more about it if you wanted to do that. Add those on the end from after your references or something like that. That's sort of more information. That would be fine. Yeah. I would just be careful because time flies when you're having fun. And when you're giving a presentation, it also flies. So 10 minutes will just fly by. I'm just saying. It will just go by very quickly. So, good question. Anybody
Judy,
else have questions?
can I ask a question? If I present a real clinical case, should I write in the what should I write in literature?
What should you write in the reference? Like in the reference? I would recommend that you either use something that you know. I mean, do your real clinical case, but if there's something about that case that you learned from somebody else, some other doctor or somebody else, put that in your reference. It's because what our reference does, is to just show that we're not an island. We rely on other. I'll not make a political statement here. I'm being very careful. We rely on everyone before us. We stand on the shoulders of giants, right? And everyone before us who have discovered something or taught us something. I mean, of course, you can't list all of those doctors or all of those medical professionals, but if there's something in particular that you are doing with your clinical case that came from something you learned in particular, I would put that in your reference. If not, your reference becomes that person, and I would either use their initials, not their full name, so that they have some rights. There's some privacy. And you can just indicate that this is from a true, an original case or a doctor's visit, and you can use that as your reference. Does that help?
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. That goes for everybody. If you are using a clinical case of a person, let's make sure that their name is not in your clinical case, since we do have a website and it's possible that it's not likely that someone could have access to that, and we want to make sure that we keep that information private. You are welcome to use your pseudonym, your own first name only, your first name and last initial if you want, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I'm not going to publish. These are just, they're published on Moodle, but they're not published to the whole world. But this is a YouTube video eventually, right? And that, I don't know if that can be leaked or not. I'm sure it can if someone wanted to hack that. Some government agency, I suppose they could hack it and look at that. So just cover yourself, and that's fine. We'll just leave it at that. It's never happened before, but today, in today's world, it seems like it's
CIA and FBI.
happens all the time with different things. I don't know if any of you have had bank scams or credit card scams, things like that. Anyway, okay. All right. So let me make sure that we are, I've talk to you about all the things that I wanted to related to previous classes. You're comfortable with your presentation requirements. I wanted to talk to you about the quiz and the tricky question on the quiz. So let me just do that really quickly. Okay. So for those of you who did the anatomical positions, again, this was practicing listening, right? Not something that was difficult for you, but just so you had some context to it. And then there were 4 questions. The third question was tricky. In other words, it was written in a way that made you that was meant to deceive you. I didn't write the question. I'll just tell you that. Don't you? I'm sorry. So the question was, we use the body regions to describe the relationships between the body parts. Well, in some cases you do, right? The stomach is below the heart or behind the heart or wherever it is. I'm not sure. I know I should know that, but I don't. But from the transcript, what we heard was, and look at the highlighted part there, we need to use standard directional terms to describe the relative position of the various body parts. So I would say that was a really tricky question because it maybe not relationships in the sense that one organ benefits the other or blood goes from one place to another, but instead we're just talking about the direction of those things and which one is in the front, which is in the back, which is above, which is below, right? When we're using those particular anatomical words. So that was the tricky one that some people missed. You can always retake that if you want 100%. But that was, just wanted to share that with you. All right, let's see here. It is 11 o'clock and I would like us to look at a short video about Doctors Without Borders. And many of you know about this organization. I'm going to stop sharing here. Has anyone participated in Doctors Without Borders? That's the English name for it. MSF is the French initial. Anybody participate? I have had a student who was a translator for MSF, actually in Belarus, and she loved her experience doing that. So let me just share that with you. If you know about this already, I'm sure you'll learn something because it's a fascinating organization. Okay. And it speaks a little bit to what Julia asked Chloe last week, and that was, have you ever considered international work? I think that was the question essentially. So, okay, this is a YouTube video and it's 10 minutes, so we will see how long we make it because I'd like to have some discussion afterwards. So if there's anything that interests you, we can talk about that. Let me make sure I shared my sound.
Doctors Without Borders.
Hold on.
Also known internationally by our French name.
Let me make sure that I pause this again and then share the sound because I think I did not do that. Yeah. Okay.
We can hear this video, yeah, and audio.
Can you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. You can't see that screen. I'm having a little trouble today, I guess. One more time. Share the sound. Share my video. Share. Okay. Now I'm not hearing anything.
Right now anything, but last time it was sound.
Let's try it one more time. Did this get turned off? All right, here we go.
It's because sound is
Doctors
switched.
Without Borders, also known internationally
Right
by our
now,
French name,
okay,
Médecins
yeah.
Sans Frontières, or MSF, is an independent medical humanitarian organization. Founded in 1971, MSF won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1999. Today we have some 33,000 staff on the ground in roughly 70 countries. MSF provides life-saving medical care to those affected by war, natural disasters, disease outbreaks, systematic neglect or exclusion, and other crises. We work in accordance with international humanitarian law and medical ethics. We treat people based on medical needs alone, regardless of race, religion, or political affiliation. MSF is set up to respond to emergencies and provide free, high-quality medical care. Over the years, our logistical teams have developed ready-made kits to help us mobilize quickly. These kits contain the materials needed to fight a cholera outbreak or get a surgical program up and running. A kit could even contain a fully functioning inflatable operating theater. We have an extensive network of aid workers staffing projects all over the world, along with emergency experts ready to fly out at a moment's notice. Perhaps most importantly, the vast majority of MSF's funding comes from private donors, not governments. This is how we maintain financial independence that allows us to make rapid operational decisions based on the medical needs we see on the ground, not on political or funding considerations. At any given moment, MSF teams are treating patients in a range of emergencies. Nearly a third of MSF's projects are in conflict zones. Here, people are caught in the crossfire and cut off from healthcare services, unable to get the assistance they urgently need. Our teams work to establish safe spaces for patients and for medical personnel. Team leaders actively negotiate access to communities where the needs are greatest. They do this by communicating with all sides to a conflict and explaining MSF's guiding principles of neutrality, impartiality, and independence, along with the healthcare services we offer. In many places, this allows MSF to work where other organizations can't. Even as fighting continues, our teams assist the wounded and others affected by war with a range of critical services, including surgery, emergency obstetrics, and maternity care. MSF also provides primary health care, vaccinations, mental health counseling, and more, adapting programs to people's health needs. When an earthquake, hurricane, or other natural disaster hits, experienced MSF staff evaluate the situation on the ground to identify the most urgent needs. At warehouses in logistical hubs around the world, teams assemble medicines and supplies and send them as quickly as possible. Staff in the disaster zone can then start treating the wounded and reinforcing battered medical systems. This might mean setting up an inflatable hospital for emergency surgeries, providing water and sanitation services, or running programs to prevent disease outbreaks where people are taking shelter. Conflicts, natural disasters, and other crises can drive people from their homes, forcing them to flee unstable circumstances in search of safety. Too often they find more uncertainty and hardship, along with poor living conditions where public services are scarce. Here, MSF responds to the particular health needs of displaced people by treating illnesses and injuries, preventing disease outbreaks, battling malnutrition, and ensuring access to maternal and pediatric care. In some cases, teams also provide water and sanitation services or distribute essential everyday items like soap, cooking oil, and shelter materials. Women and children are particularly vulnerable to sexual violence in overcrowded camps or wherever law and order have broken down. MSF provides medical and mental health care for survivors of sexual violence and does community outreach to let people know that free, confidential treatment is available and that survivors should come in for care as quickly as possible. The majority of our patients are women and children, and we offer specialized care to attend to their specific needs, particularly around maternal health and childbirth. In many MSF projects, we offer comprehensive care for mothers and babies. This includes prenatal, postnatal, and newborn care, along with emergency care for complications from deliveries, such as obstructed labor and postpartum hemorrhage. Malaria, cholera, and measles are just some of the diseases MSF tackles. Our epidemiologists track outbreaks, while other medical staff treat the sick and launch prevention efforts like vaccination campaigns. Community outreach teams let people know how to identify and halt the spread of a disease while we test for new cases. In 2014 and 15, MSF took the lead in responding to the massive Ebola outbreak that struck West Africa, treating more than 5,000 people and repeatedly calling on the international community to do more to help. Starting in the year 2000, MSF began treating people with HIV and AIDS. We now provide antiretroviral treatment to more than 341,000 people in 20 countries. MSF also runs a number of programs for those with tuberculosis and drug-resistant TB, as well as dangerous HIV-TB co-infections. For MSF, it's not enough to just provide medical services. We also speak out about what's happening to people. We advocate for our patients in meetings and in statements directed to governments and to the international community, as well as through the media and other platforms. The message is always the same. People at risk should be able to access health care, and medical workers, even in active conflict zones, must be allowed to provide it according to the Geneva Conventions and international humanitarian law. MSF also believes that life-saving medicines and vaccines must be affordable and accessible to the people who need them most. MSF works with some of the most vulnerable people on the planet, and we're often frustrated by both the high cost of medicines and the lack of diagnostic tools and treatments available in some countries. MSF's Access campaign pushes governments and the pharmaceutical industry to direct research and development efforts toward making affordable products for the kinds of diseases our patients face, including potentially fatal ones such as tuberculosis and neglected diseases like Kala-Azar. MSF conducts research to document our efforts to adapt and optimize care in logistically challenging settings where resources are limited. Given our reach as an organization and the places where we work, we can often gather insights and data that few others can. By publishing our findings in peer-reviewed medical journals, we share this work with the medical humanitarian community so that other organizations and vulnerable populations can benefit from our on-the-ground experience. In recent years, MSF research has shown innovative and successful new ways to treat patients. We've demonstrated more effective treatment of severely malnourished children in India, provided integrated community-based care for HIV and TB patients in Swaziland, and expanded the use of vaccinations against tetanus, cholera, and other potentially fatal diseases for children living in refugee camps. MSF strives to be transparent and accountable for our work. This means publishing critical reviews of our programs, information about our spending, and accounts of what's worked and what needs to improve in our medical programs. Accountability is one of our core principles, something we know is connected to everything else we do. We're grateful for the support we receive from donors around the world, so we provide as much information about our work as we can through various platforms, including regular donor communications, the news media, social media, and public events. The ongoing support of our donors, together with the profound commitment of our aid workers, will allow MSF to provide independent and impartial assistance to people in crises for a long time to come. We know that the future holds many challenges for people around the world, but we also know what's possible when we go where we're most needed with the materials we need to deliver life-saving medical care.
Comments? Any comments?
I think it's a great organization, but some moments were scary for me. When they showed children from Africa, I don't know which character should have person to go to these countries. It's very strong people, I think.
That the kind of person that can go face this every day is very strong, needs to be very strong.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also I maybe think if I could go to this country, and to be honest, I think no, I'm not strong
You're not
enough
strong
and
enough.
brave to
One thing I
to do this.
learned from these videos, I've sort of shared them over the years with a lot of different people, that there's always things that aren't necessarily, of course, they're looking for medical experts, but there's also other kinds of jobs all around the world that the MSF does, and it includes people who are project leaders and people who are directing, how things are built, where the kits go, where does the water go, things like that that don't require necessarily dealing with the patients. And in some cases, for example, if you could go to Gaza, you have these camps that are just overcrowded and problematic, and sort of helping people manage their refugee status, So there's some things in some places that may not feel as dangerous or as scary. Sad, yes, but maybe not as personally threatening to a person. That's, that's something. I've got a dog that wants me to let her in. Let me do that. Hi. Something scary. Something scared her. Woody has a tool outside, I think, some kind of electrical tool. What else? What else do people think?
It was a surprise for me because when I watched this video, I got myself thinking that if I didn't have my children and parents, I would want to spend most of my life in this role as a doctor. I'm really surprised of this idea. I don't know why, because I'm not a brave person, but I think it's a real medicine. That it. So, but I have the children and my parents, so I still stay at home in Minsk and go to my hospital as a doctor.
Yeah. Those are things, and as your life changes, as your parents, get older, sometimes, like in my case, I live here. I love it here. It's a beautiful place, but I also know that I would like to live overseas again. And I can't do that when my dad is so old. My children don't need me anymore because they're in their 30s. And of course, I would like to see them, but I don't need to be with them on a regular basis. That's sort of a funny thing for a mom to say, but it's true. They have their own lives, and they touch base with me when they want to. So
I think I'm nervous that they will be nervous about me. It's one just reason, because now I think about my parents. So I know that my mother, she was a crazy about me before, now, and in the future too. So when I really a lonely person, It's good for me. I really not scared to be a lonely person. I want to spend more time. I like to spend more time alone, really. Some specific for me. So it was awesome to see this video and to see a real helpful, really doctors. For me, it's a real doctors. I
Yes,
don't
yes.
know why, but
I can understand what you mean. Yeah, yeah,
it was a high level of a real medicine.
yeah. Well, I think Julia said last week too that her parents said over their dead bodies, which is that they're my
That was absolutely true. I just decided and read some information about this organization. And as I'm a lone person, I have no children, just little boy. His name is Max. My parents think that I should think, and I know one doctor, Valery Anatolievich. He was recruited into this organization, and he went not to Africa. He went to not South. He went to Haiti.
Haiti. Okay, Haiti. We say Haiti. So in the
Yeah.
Caribbean, yeah.
And worked as obstetrician and gynecologist
Yeah.
for 2 years. And now he can do almost everything, even spinal punction for anesthesia as anesthesiologist. As
Wow.
in those conditions, in those surroundings in Haiti, he had to learn how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I admire such doctors. It's a real medicine or medicine in the United as you can pronounce it in both ways. I prefer UK, sorry, and I learned to say medicine. Yes, but yes, and these three people are real heroes. Yes.
True. Yeah.
And
Anybody else?
maybe I think someday, maybe in some years, I will do it. I think I will do it.
Yeah. 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 Tatiana, what about you? What do you think?
It wasn't said. Is it for free or the doctors are paid something?
I believe that they're paid, but not a lot. Yes. And that I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty, yeah, I think that it's not a volunteer, but I could be wrong. I should look that up. I'll look it up.
It's impressive, but it's not for all life, probably for some years.
Yes, right. You can choose a certain amount of time even. So even I've heard that some people do emergency type things for like 3 months. So that it's not, you don't have to give up your career where you live or your family or those kinds of things. It's a shorter term commitment.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Mike?
Hello, Judy again.
Hello again.
As I told you, I worked for about 2 years in such experience for maybe 2.5 years. It's quite unique experience. I have a lot stuff to tell about it, but everyone should understand that no one will change anything through this stuff. It's quite unique experience. You can get some money. You can travel a lot. You can see a lot. You can get new friends, but no one will change. As
You
soon
can't, in
as
other words, you can't
as
change the
global
world.
politics changes, yes, as
Yeah,
soon as global politics changes, nothing will change.
yeah,
Some people that work under UN, under Médecins Sans Frontières, they, how to tell it in English, they describing it like an animal, very, very lazy animal. That's not moving, not doing nothing, in
the
fact.
government
So,
agencies, you mean?
yep.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not the right person to ask about this.
Yeah. So do you think, so I understand about Doctors Without Borders, they do not take government funding because they don't want to be beholden to government. So I don't know if they take UN funding or if they take only private
No.
donations.
I think Doctors Alice Frontiers, they don't take any money, but it's quite risky. It's more risky than work under UN.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
in very, very difficult positions, difficult places, hard places, as they call it. And a lot of people can be murdered, raped, and so on and so forth. It's not a good way for a young woman to go with.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
You know, also there are, and I think Chloe mentioned this, the person that she thinks as a mentor from her university in South Carolina goes every year to Uganda in Africa and works with women and children there. He's more of a, I don't believe that he's a church, necessarily a minister or anything. He's a doctor and an instructor, but he goes in a, as a religious person. I think he has some kind of like Christian backing. So churches invite him, or he's already established a clinic in one of these towns so that people know him. So I think there's also all of those different kinds of private individuals. I know a lot of different people from India who do things for their communities or their parents' communities back in India. And those are sort of different because you're not really in a war situation or a natural disaster situation. Oh, I see we've gone over. But you're more in a community, kind of like what Sandra was talking about at the beginning of our class today. You're in a community of need, and as all of these are, but you're much less in danger, I think. So those are, international opportunities as well that you can make a difference, because sometimes people don't see a doctor when they live in sort of a more rural setting, and it's less dangerous because there's no armed conflict or something happening. So yeah, I get that. Any other comments before we close out today? I'm sorry that it's 11:30 already, or sorry, 8:30 for you.
I know one person from my medical university. Now she's building a clinic in Guatemala.
Yeah, good for her. And is she an ophthalmologist? Is she an ophthalmologist, Sandra? No.
No.
Ha, ha.
She's a physician.
A physician, general physician. Wow, very cool.
I also had two girls from my university who were in rural area in Guatemala, and we in university were so impressed and fascinated by these people. Yeah, it's need to be a really, really strong and brave person.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have anything before we go today? All right. Okay. Remember, you can send me your slideshow. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. If you want me to review it, be careful about the amount of text that you put on your slides. I'll say that because that's always a problem. And remember, you have 10 minutes, 1 minute per slide. So things go fast in 10 minutes. You'll have a lot to say, I know. All right. see you all next week. Have a wonderful week and rest of your week and nice weekend. Hope it's springtime there. Thank you very much for today. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.
Judy, you're so beautiful today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. You're so kind.
Have a nice week. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Gleb.